Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. This episode is sponsored by Uber One.
We've all used Uber for rides, and I love using Uber Eats for food delivery, okay? Hello. I mean, I kind of live off of it. But have you ever heard about Uber One? Uber One is a membership that helps you save on Uber and Uber Eats.
With an Uber One membership, you get exclusive member perks, like up to 10% off Uber Eats and a $0 delivery fee on eligible orders. It just makes sense.
I'm always getting Ubers. I'm always doing Uber Eats. This is the perfect sort of membership for me.
I use this all the time. Some restaurants charge so much for the delivery fee, and I order a ton of food. I've saved hundreds of dollars using this.
One membership to save on Uber and Uber Eats. Join Uber One today. Go to uber.com/Uber1 to learn more.
$0 delivery fee and percentage off discount subject to order minimums and participating stores. Taxes and other fees still apply. If you're like me, you can't leave the house without grabbing your favorite pair of sunnies that fit your vibe, whatever the occasion.
At Sunglass Hut, you can find every shade of you with a curated summer product selection.
Check out the selection that includes a wide range of styles from the biggest brands like Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, Burberry, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more, plus 12 shades only available at Sunglass Hut.
Their personalized services, both online and in-store, expert sales associates, and the latest technology mean you will easily find something perfect to elevate your summer look no matter how indecisive you are, hello, that's me, or how many styles you're after.
Oh, and if you need to find a special gift, Sunglass Hut has got you covered with a variety of customization and gift card options. I was just in there the other day.
Me too.
And it's really cool because I have a very large head and face, and I need huge sunglasses. And I was actually able to go online, and they have a feature where you can actually try the glasses on online. They put them on your face and show you what they'll look like. So,
yeah, I went in. I had no idea what I wanted to get. And Victor, the person who helped me, was so helpful to me. And he set up gave me a little tray, and he helped me pick out all the perfect look for me. And I walked out of there with 3 sets of sunglasses. It was wonderful.
Go and discover the special selection online at sunglasshut.com or in the store. Your summer look is waiting for you.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on your bravs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Good. What's going on with you?
Oh, just enjoying a week here now that our tour is over. I'm imagining myself going on vacation by watching Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. I'm just pretending I'm there on the vineyard, although I've never been. What about you? What's going on with you?
I'm not pretending I'm there. Doesn't seem very peaceful. Seems like a lot of drama. I was actually worried at the beginning. I'm like, oh God, this is just going to be one of those, like, the season's ready to dwindle down and everyone's just going to be like, oh, we just love each other. And it's like the end of Below Deck, you know, how they're like, I learned so much on this show, and this is what I learned this season, and I can't wait to go back to Florida or wherever. But no, it wasn't. It was very dramatic. Very,
very dramatic. And really, Silas has really done some great work being just a terrible person, a terrible villain for us all to hate. It feels great. In fact, you know what? As I said this, there was thunder outside, so it feels like even the heavens agree.
Yeah, Silas is a shithead. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even if you know, there have been some comments here and there online that I've been reading, like, you know, the arguments that people are bringing up. Basically, like, their arrangement in their marriage, and she says this in this episode, Jasmine does, that they have an agreement in their marriage that he brings home the money and she does the housework or whatever. I mean, even if that's your arrangement and you decide to go kind of an old school way, first of all, but second of all, you're allowed to do that, but he's such an asshole about it. He's still an asshole. Like, it doesn't make him less of an asshole. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, like, that can be your arrangement, fine. Whatever you decide, that's what you're going to do. But also, this is not like an actual job where if you don't do your duties, then for like 1 week, that therefore you're fired. So like, make your own sandwich. Make yourself a peanut butter and jelly. if she's busy or wants to be relaxing and not be doing the things that she does on a daily basis.
Right. So basically, here we are. We're at a standoff because he has complained about the food she made him. And he's already been mad about her not tide sticking his pants and putting a mark on them with the iron and doing it incorrectly. So he's really pissed. And now she's made him food, which I think that she secretly put carbs in there because she has to know he doesn't eat carbs. She's his wife and cooks all of his food. So she knows this. So she purposely fed him carbs to get like as her passive aggressive way to argue. And now they're having a standoff where he's like, I won't eat carbs. How dare you?
Yeah, that's where we left off. And then where we pick up on the season finale, out of nowhere in opening credits, a theme song emerges out of nowhere for like 8 seconds. I'm pretty sure we have not seen any opening credits, right? For this entire season.
I've never seen opening
no
credits
music
for this. No.
they're like, let's just throw one in at the end of the season to see how that works.
I think Bravo was like, oh, I think we'd like this show. Let's give it another chance. Let's come up with an opening. They deserve an opening. Let's get it in there for the last episode so people know we're serious. But the song, I did not get the tune because it's only really been one time, so it's unfair to expect it. Okay, audience? Yeah. But it's I want to have some fun tonight. I know it's in the way. Some of us are going to be okay. What the fuck? Why is this here now? Oh, that was my note.
That's your note. Yeah.
Yeah. I know
nice,
it's in the way.
Gesture.
Some of us are going to be okay. It's not a very comforting song, you know? I want to have fun. Yeah. Some of us are going to be okay. Like, what happens to the rest of us? Do people die on this show? What happens on this show?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a brutal twist at the end of this episode. Not everyone's making it off the island.
They all die.
Unfortunately.
Also, another harbinger of doom is that there's like a lighthouse. We see a lighthouse, but it's a very short and stubby lighthouse. And I predict a lot of people have crashed onto this island because that lighthouse ain't shit. I'm just going to say it right now. That lighthouse is fucking useless. There was never a time in history where that lighthouse made any sense.
It has very bad Yelp reviews. If you look it up, it only has like 2.5. And there's one woman on there who's like, my name is Marjorie, and I've been to many lighthouses, and I've always been able to park my boat perfectly fine. But I literally sank my boat when I came to this lighthouse. Like, I do not recommend it for anyone. I was like, wow, Marjorie.
Marjorie's not like really an asshole.
Yeah. She's a real asshole. I mean, she lost her ship, so I get it. But also, like, that lighthouse is trying the best it can.
Yeah, the only person with worse reviews than that lighthouse on Martha's Vineyard is Jasmine as an ironer and tide sticker and
non-starch provider.
Yeah, because Silas is like, really? This is how you treat me? I shall be putting this into your Yelp review, just like Jasmine. Yes. Sucks with tide sticks. Sucks with ghost sticks.
So it's so meanwhile we actually open with Alex and Nick. They're outside. They're planning this big bonanza for the last night. It's gonna be a whole thing because Alex was talking last week about how he wants to sing a song for it and everything. It's gonna be a night of like black tie and like fashion, and it's okay, Ronnie. It's okay. Ronnie just knocked over something. Your Topo Chico?
I'm fiddling around, and I was opening a Topo Chico, and then I have my pop socket off my phone so my phone can charge, but then I moved my phone, and then I was moving the pop socket over, but then the pop socket grabbed the bottle opener and lifted the bottle opener, and then
Ronnie.
Yeah.
We have an arrangement, okay? Your job is to open up your Topo Chico cleanly and quietly, and if you can't do that, what is even the point? We have routines, Ronnie, okay? I wake up at 8 a.m., I have my breakfast, and expect silence and no Topo Chico sounds.
Oh. So Preston is sitting in that sunroom arrow, and then it says, Jasmine, arrow ding, Jasmine. And so she's like, well, Preston, I do have a plate set aside, so if you'd like to eat, it's always yours. I was like, oh, wow, thank you. I get to eat your husband's judgment? Sounds delicious.
Rejected starches. So, and
Also,
Silas
who
is
rejects a carb? I mean, listen, whatever you think of this situationship, get the fuck out of a man who says no to carbs. Even if I'm not eating carbs and you bring me French fries with my salad, I'm going to say, I'm not eating carbs right now, but please leave these here. And then I eat them anyway. And then I go back to not eating carbs after. Like a real fucking human being who wastes a carb.
Or here's a wild idea. Eat around the starches. Just eat everything that's around the starches and leave them over. And say, here, you eat these. I can't eat these. Right? Or how about, even more radical, how about say, you know what? Thank you so much for making these. Unfortunately, I'm not eating starch right now, but I ate everything else and it was delicious. But if you want these potatoes? Because I unfortunately can't eat them. How about you say that instead of starches? I don't eat starches.
Yeah. Or just, be passive aggressive about it. Don't be mean to the starches. Just start eating the Tide Ghost pen. And then when she says, what are you doing? Just say, I'm using this wrong, like you did. At least give us a fun passive aggressive argument.
Or walk your ass into the kitchen and make yourself a PB&J sandwich. So,
those don't work for me. Have
Really?
you ever been able to eat a one peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I've seen people do it on TV. I've never done it in real life. I have to have a stack of 4, and then I stack them all on top of each other, and then I cut them in little diamonds, and then I eat that. And that's
fun.
Okay. But you also have to have Fritos or something on the side.
You need to have
not
chips.
Just that. But who eats just one sandwich with that thin layer of nothing really on
They're
there?
more like a snack. They're like a snack plus, right? They're not as small as a snack, but they're not as substantial as a proper sandwich. They kind of get you through until the real sandwich comes, or like the real meal, or they just get you through to the next snack, So Amir is sad because he's going to be sad to leave everyone because he doesn't have this group in Texas. And then Silas is moping around the kitchen because he didn't get, because his wife didn't make him the food he wanted. So he's just moping around and he's silent. And he's like, I haven't eaten lunch, so I'm hungry, I think he's just
Such
waiting
an
for the
asshole.
food to materialize, I guess.
Yeah, I think he thought she was going to go back in there and make him something without starch. But she's like, fuck you. I'm not going to do that.
It starches.
And so, he comes in and Jasmine just sighs and leaves. And then Silas sighs because Amir asked him if they're good. So then Jasmine calls her grandmother. And man, you're in deep. You're really sad when you call your grandmother for some shit,
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't bother. My grandmothers have passed now, but I don't feel like I bothered my grandmas with shit like this. I think you called someone that old because you want her to say, but you're, it's tradition. You should stick with it, instead of calling anyone younger who would say, get the fuck away from that asshole.
If I called my grandma Sally and said, Grandma Sally, my boyfriend, he wants me to make him a plate of food and I made it for him, but he doesn't want it, she'd say, punch him in the face. She would be like, get rid of him, So
I love your Aunt Sally, or your Grandma Sally. And I
R.I.P.
wish
Grandma Sally. She would take a hose. She would the famous story is that she's there are a lot of stories about Grandma Sally, but one of them involves a hose. One of them involves her marching down to the playground and roughing up some local teenagers. She got down to business. She wasn't like these Bravo grandmas who were like, well, honey, maybe you should think about this. She would fuck you up.
She'd fuck somebody up. Yeah. I like her. So, so Jasmine is like, my mom and dad were never married. And so the Huxtables were always an example to me because, the Huxtables, I don't remember Claire Huxtable getting yelled at for how she's cooking potatoes. You know what I mean? How she also wasn't she a surgeon or something? What was Claire Huxtable?
No, she was a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Because it is actually very funny that you say.
Was he a doctor and she was a lawyer?
He was a doctor. She was an obstetrician. But it's funny that it is funny because she has this very traditional arrangement with Silas, but Claire and what's his face were actually she's Claire is a modern working woman who is not sitting at home making meals for her husband.
Yes. So yeah, I was like, well, that's a weird example. So then, we go to Silas and he's explaining to Amir, he's like, it's just on vacation. We get off our routine. And well, I stay on my routine. So when I say we, I mean her, because my last meal was at 8 a.m. So, oh, really? And what is it now? 11? And you can't.
I know. So that's
she
fine
not only
that
has
you're
to
on your
feed you,
routine.
she has to feed you every 2 hours. Fuck off, dude.
Like,
Who's in
you're
there?
on your routine. That's fine. You want to stay on your routine because you have, whatever issues you have. So stay on your routine. You're on vacation though. She doesn't have to be on her routine. Okay. And by the way, the fact that like her making him food is bound to a routine and does not actually come organically from like, oh, I just want to make him lunch, shows that I think she clearly does not want to do this stuff, but she's doing it because she agreed to be on a quote unquote routine, right? Like, I kind of feel like if you're going to take these traditional roles, you should take these traditional roles because you actually enjoy that aspect of it, not because your husband said, I'm on this routine, so you have to be on this routine.
I think she's doing it because she considers it a job. His job, probably the way it's been explained to her, is my job is to go work. Your job is to run the household, right? That's kind of like the standard setup of that kind of a relationship, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
she's thinking, well, I'm on vacation, so why would I do my job? It's a vacation. I'm on vacation, so I don't have to make you food. But he's like, well, I still have to do my job on vacation, so you still have to do your job on vacation. And she's like, fuck you. And also, she's probably humiliated because when she made this deal with him, it was in private, and she didn't realize how fucking lame she looks to all of her friends. And now that she's seeing the looks on her friends' faces when he's acting like this and all controlling and bossy and all this other stuff, she's probably realizing what a mistake she's made. Rent is not that hard to pay. It's easier to have a job than to deal with a person like that. And I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. If this guy is not abusive already, he will be. It's not because he just wants his dinner cooked. It's the way he talks to her and the way he demeans her and the way he publicly gets off on shaming her. And if it's not physical, it will be emotional. The guy's an asshole.
Let me tell you something. If they ever have a baby, good luck, because this is going to be one of those husbands who gets jealous of the children, right? Because he is demanding, literally demanding that she makes her his lunch. And when he doesn't get the lunch, he pouts. The Tide stick, the steaming later, every single thing. He needs to be coddled. And for as much talk as how I'm a grown man, he literally needs to be coddled on these very basic things. And so when a child comes in the picture and the child is now suddenly, like she's splitting time for the child and him, he is going to lose his mind. And it's going to be terrible. I'm telling you this right now. It will be terrible.
And, he is doing it away, like we were saying earlier, like how it's not just that you're asking for it, it's how you're asking for it. This is the guy who would like call customer service and then be like, can I speak with a manager? Because I don't like the way that you're speaking to me. He like goes all the way up the chain to complain about the customer service that he's getting. Like right now, he says, when I have an issue, I just want an acknowledgement that it was an issue. And Jason's like, got it. Like he wants an apology letter from the corporation.
Yeah.
We are sorry about your carbs. Okay, here's $20 off your neck. Here's a free Tide to Go stick, sir.
By the way, great marketing for Tide to Go. So then Silas tells us, part of my personality is that I plan for things and then I execute that plan and then I move on to something else. So I'm like, yeah, by the way, really moving on to something else as he complains like hours and hours and hours later about a Tide stick. And he's like, so with Jasmine, she's just a bit more free flowing with things. So she's going with the wind and I'm frustrated because that's not going to do it for me. I'm like, listen, if you know that she's going with the wind, she's free flowing, you have to accept that. Okay, you do not get into relationships wanting to change people. That is her personality. You can be a rigid person who like very militaristic and about the way you do all your stuff. That's fine, but don't expect her to do everything just like you crazy person.
Yeah, well, it sounds like from what we get from her later that that's what she agreed to do. She just doesn't want to do it right now, to which I say, don't get into a relationship where you're thinking you're going to change the other person, but also don't get it into a relationship where you're thinking you're going to change yourself. Like, you're not the kind of person who's going to want to Tide stick this motherfucker's thing while he's complaining. I'm not going to buy that this is the first time that he's complaining about her Tide sticking skills or the way she ironed his shirt and stuff. And don't try and be somebody else for somebody like that.
But I have to say, though, I think it is also possible that you can get into a relationship and be like, yeah, let's do some traditional roles. You're going to like go to work and you're going to have 2 monitors on your computer, and I'm going to take care of you. I will do the laundry. I'll do this and that. But I don't think that maybe it's quite possible that you say that not thinking that you have to literally do every minuscule task for this person because they're too incapable of doing it for themselves. Like
that's
there's
true.
a spot on the pants. It's like, I think it's a little unreasonable to be expected to have to drop everything. Or on top of that, like, he's also getting mad because she's not doing it on his timetable. So like she in fact has arranged to do like later on in the episode, obviously we're like not even there yet. She sets everything in motion so that way she can do all the things she needs to do to fulfill her end of it. But because it's not when he wants to do it, he flips his lid. But the truth is, like, if he's having his job, he's doing the job he's doing his job the way he wants to do his job. So let her do her tasks the way that she wants to do it. TLDR, he's a dick.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's a dick.
That's terrible. So now for their last day, they're going to go on a tour. They're going to get like a heritage tour. And so they do. This lady, Christy, gives them some history of the place.
Christy Vanderhoop. Was it Vanderhoop or Vander? Either way, I was like, wow, she's coming very close to having Lisa Vanderpump get mad at her. Yeah. I think it's Vanderhoop, not Vanderpoop. Sorry.
She's
Christy.
like, I'd like to welcome you to Vanderhoop Gardens here on Martha's Vineyard. So she
just got that.
she's basically giving some history, and they go on a little tour and stuff. And it's really funny because she's like, so this house, Diana Ross stayed here the summer that she dated Gene Simmons from Kiss. And everyone's like, what? She's like, yeah. And she goes, so you guys have heard about the wedding, right? They're like, whose wedding? And she's like, the famous book, The Wedding. They're like, she's like, the movie? Have you heard of the movie, The Wedding?
They're like, nope. She's like, okay, I really have to update the references on this tour. It's official.
She's like, okay, well, the movie had Halle Berry in it, and that movie was based on a book that was written by Dorothy West. So glad you came, dummies. Okay. The next tour, I'm going to say, this is the house that Dorothy West went to, and a bunch of dumb people who don't know anything. So
she should just start making stuff up. She's like, Josephine Baker used to get coffee over here.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So now we go back to the house, and there's more stuff is being set up. And so Amir is cooking, and Silas comes in. He's like, yo, dog, I am starving. And Amir's like, well, this is all your wife's doing. Like, because basically Jasmine had told Amir, hey, can you like finish this like shrimp and rice, right? And because she's going to go out and
she had
do an
already
errand.
cooked it pretty much, but she wanted to run an errand. So she's like, would you just finish this off for me?
Yeah, so Amir was like, oh yeah, this is all your wife's doing. I just picked up where she left off. And Silas like, well, where'd she go? And he's like, well, I just turned Silas into Ramona. Where'd she go? Okay. And Amir's like, oh, she had to run an errand. So now Silas starts stomping around all angry.
Yeah, so he goes into their room, and that's where she is. And he's like, babe, where's the iron? Where's the iron? She's like, oh, it's on the phone. Oh, you're right, yeah. Calls. I wrote Jasmine phone. Ronnie and Ben here. Since we started the podcast, we've dissected a lot of shows that have featured hilarious, insane, and internet-breaking moments. Okay, Ben, what is your pick for the most insane Bravo fight?
I want to throw it back to the crazy leg throwing fight. See what I did there? Throwing on Real Housewives of New York, which I mean, that's a classic. And for those people who do not know about it, first of all, shame on you. Just kidding. No shame. But former Real Housewife of New York City, Aviva Drescher, was responsible for one of the most bizarre cat fights in the history of Real Housewives. Because while she was yelling her iconic line of the only thing that is artificial or fake about me is this woman threw her prosthetic leg across the floor at Le Cirque. Okay. It horrified everyone.
Yeah, Aviva really sent the internet into a frenzy, and she won instant immortality status, even if not another season, And on the topic of wins and legs, we wish break a leg to all the artists competing on Audible's music competition podcast Breakthrough, who are about to perform their final songs before the show crowns a winner.
I'm just like, I can't believe how close we are to the series finale, by the way. I mean, I just realized, like, it is right here. It is upon us. I honestly have no idea who's going to win.
I don't either. And I like that they still have not been actually seen by the judges. I think that that's really cool. The judges aren't going to see, like literally see what they've been dealing with until the finale.
Yeah, and I like that the winners can be picked based on their growth and their overall performance throughout the season. I'm honestly, I really can't wait.
Yeah, it's really the way that they did it without kicking people off. It's just like, these are the people that we want to develop. Who did we develop the most? I really it's a nice twist on that genre. And I'm really excited to see who's going to win. We can't believe it's almost coming to an end. Join us to check out the next episode. Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts. Go to audible.com/Crappens. That's audible.com/Crappens.
Hi, I'm Michael Patrick King, host of the official Max Companion podcast, and just like that, The Writer's Room. Each episode, members of The Writer's Room and I unpack moments from Season 2, sharing juicy details you can only hear from us. Stream And Just Like That Season 2 starting June 22nd on Max, and listen to And Just Like That, The Writer's Room on Max or wherever you get your podcasts.
With Silas, so I don't know what my problem is. But he's walking around going, babe, where's the iron? Where is it? Oh, I think I see it over there. She goes, I'm going to be back in 6 minutes. All you have to do is put your suit out and I will steam it when I get there. He's like, She's like, okay. And he's like,
Fine. So then she comes back. She's like, Jesus, I had to skip to my loo to get back for you, man, baby. He goes, well, I was like a little confused because I was like, okay, well, she got her dress and she got everything, but like, what was so eminent that she would like leave and with such a short time for me to get ready? So he's like really pissy that he didn't know that she was going out to get an errand, that she left Amir to finish the shrimp, and that like the window of time might not have been enough time for him.
She goes, but you had your food, so I was done with my tasks, so I had time to do what I wanted to do. And he's like, listen, Amir's not bringing me food, babe. Men don't bring each other food. Oh, fuck.
Have you been to a restaurant? Have you been to a restaurant? Relax.
Have you heard of a gay person?
Lucky.
Even if you're only talking about relationships, like, fuck you, dude.
You should be so lucky to have anyone bringing you food. Who cares if it's a man, woman, or non-binary or anything? Honestly, it's
so
ridiculous.
Then we go to Jordan and Nick talking about basically they're talking about what to wear. She's like, do you have a jacket? And he goes, yeah, it's double-breasted. And she's like, I have double breasts. And I was like, uh-oh, she sexualized herself. It's going to be trouble. She's going to be really pissed at herself in a minute.
So Silas is still stomping around. He's like, it's definitely not about you not being here to press my suit, babe. I'm not going to lie. Oh, no, it definitely is about. It's definitely about you not being here to press my suit, babe. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely about that. But I'm like, but she's literally here. She's here to press your suit for you're not. Also, by the way, you're not going to the Oscars. You're going to the backyard.
So she's like, well, I found a way to get what I wanted done and also make sure you had everything you needed so you were fed while I was gone. And then I was making sure someone was bringing the steamer here for me to do your suit when I got back because I wanted to set myself up so I could be steaming your clothes. Okay, gross. Okay, first of all, this conversation gets another 4 grosses from me. Gross. And he's like, well, that didn't happen, did it? She goes, well, why not? Because I'm almost done and you're almost done. So how did it not get done? And he's like, I'm almost done with no assistance from you.
Oh,
and
God
she's like,
forbid.
okay, well, even
himself.
if she's like, well, how about this? I didn't need your help. And if you had stuff set up for me, then I could have steamed it. I've been here for 20 minutes with nothing to do but steam your outfit. And he just walks off, all pissed off.
I don't
think
steam himself. I don't think it's gross or crazy that she said, okay, well, I knew I wanted to steam this outfit for him, so I rearranged the stuff and I had Amir finish the thing and I came back and I left it with enough time to steam her outfit. Like, that's, if anything, I think that's kind of cool that she like she arranged her shit together, and she knew her time, and she knew how much time she needed, and she put it all together, and she did it. So what's wrong with that?
It's gross to me because I don't like listening to someone apologize over and over to some fucking man. Yes, she is. She's like, she's explaining like, I had all of this list to do everything for you. And to me, that's gross. I'm sorry. It's gross. I don't like to see any partner being treated like that, to where they're having to go backpedal and like explain themselves. And like, I have to have all these excuses just to run one fucking errand when I've done everything. It's gross to me. I don't like it.
I agree.
Do your own
that
fucking
she has to have excuses. I think it's gross that she has to have excuses. But I think that, like, I don't mind if someone says, like, oh, I wanted to do something for my boo, and I set it all up. What I don't like is him being totally unappreciative and then making her feel bad. And, like, you know, like, he freaked out. He was the one who, like, he couldn't bear to stand still, just to chill out in that room for 5 minutes while she came back, and then she was going to steam his shit. He, like, lost his mind. Then he does it. Then he blames her that he had to do it, when all he had to do was actually have a little faith in his wife that she would take care of the shit that she said she was going to take care of. You know, it's not about, like, you know, I think we're kind of arguing two different things, to be honest. But I just think that, like, he has no trust in her. I agree with all that. Totally insecure. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, she should, like, not even have to make these excuses and not even have to panic and do all these things to, you know, just for Silas. But, you know, given that she is doing it, she's allowed to create a plan for herself and then do the plan just the way Silas says he does things.
So they're getting ready, and everyone's getting really dressed up and fancy for this party. And a bunch of people coming. There's just like a lot of gathering, okay? There's a lot of gathering. So Jasmine is talking to Jordan about how she's fighting with Silas. And she's like, well, I mean, we're in a fight about his damn suit. And Jordan goes, uh-oh, did you burn it up? Which I love. Jordan already knows. She already knows because Jasmine has probably burned things with iron so many times in their lives as friends, you know?
And Jasmine's saying, like, you know, Silas and I definitely discussed what works for us in terms of roles and responsibilities. But I left that at the door when I came here on vacation. Okay, I'm not thinking about that routine, to be honest. But, like, apparently Silas did not get that. And so now Silas is stomping around again saying, I just want an acknowledgement. That's it. I just want an acknowledgement. Like, of what? That you couldn't sit still for 6 minutes to wait for someone to steam your thing for you, so you had to do it yourself? Like, what do you want the acknowledgement for?
And she's saying, you know, for him, it's really important for him to let me know how he feels, which I really actually appreciate, but sometimes it's exhausting. No, your feelings are not a complaint list to an employee. That's not your feelings. You're having your suit not ironed the way you want isn't explaining to somebody how you feel. You know what I mean? I don't know. This whole thing just pisses me off. So,
and then in a very what I believe is kind of a shady thing by not shady, but definitely a commentary by the post production. We then see a montage of everyone else in the house ironing all their stuff.
Yeah, God forbid. You know, and so she's like, he just doesn't move on. You know, he just has to talk about it and talk about it. It's like, why are you so emotional? And Jordan's just glad that she has dropped the facade of perfection for a moment. And she's like, yeah, you know, she's being authentic and she's keeping it real. And I think that's a testament to how close we are. It's like, oh, your friend is being real with you the first time this whole summer. That's a testament to your friendship. Okay. Yeah. How about she's been an asshole all summer to you, and that's a testament that you need to work on this shit. But it is nice to see Jasmine finally getting sick of it. I hope she left him. Did she leave him? Do we even know? Because she seems over it by the end of this episode.
Oh, no, I don't know, but I'm assuming they're still together, and I'm assuming that now Silas is working on his new personality of, like, I was just going through a lot, and I was overbearing. I've learned not to be like that anymore. I guarantee that's what we're going to see if there's a second season. So now throughout all this, guests are coming into the house, including Alex's brother, Al. And his name is Al. Last week we're like, is his name Al or Al Tariq? But he is referred to as Al. So it is Alex and Al, the brothers. And Alex is like, my brother Al is here. And immediately I feel a sense of home right here. And he like taps his heart. I'm like, oh.
That's where my heart is. And I was a really shy kid. And I would ask him, could you be my voice? Can you ask Mom and Dad if we can go to McDonald's? Because I didn't have a voice. But now I'm the one with the mic. I was like, wow, you can order a quarter pounder now. You've really come a long way, baby.
He's just singing at the drive-thru now at McDonald's, like, I will have a Big Mac.
Baby.
Da 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 da. I'm loving it.
Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us have it your way.
A Big Mac, big deal to you. A quarter pounder with some cheese fillet, a fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a Happy Meal.
That's good. I don't think you've ever whipped that out before.
Oh yeah,
That was
like
hot.
I memorized a good amount of that. Big Mac with DLT, a quarter pounder with some cheese fillet, a fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a Happy Meal, McDonald's, tasty gold, French fries, regular or larger size, and then it goes on and on and on.
That's really good. God, I want to make you a bowl of protein right now.
I will gladly eat a bowl. I'm starving.
I really want to steam a soup for you right now. That was hot.
I would.
So,
I could use
there's
some
a
Todd
violinist playing because, of course, it's an Alex event. And so he's like, it's art. So it's a drum machine and a pianist and a keyboardist and a violinist. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Completely natural trio. But he's singing, and I was like, this is not going to be good because he's hopping around singing, and I was like, he sings poorly, ? Can't tell. That's my first impression. I was worried.
Yeah. So Nick is setting some stuff up. Nick is really like buzzing around. Like this is definitely his ministry of like setting things up, but you can just tell. And he's like really sad that his girl isn't here, Tasia. And Alex is like, don't worry, bro. She's here with you. And Nick is like, yeah, right here. And he taps his heart. I was like, these guys just love tapping their heart.
Yeah. Alex is like, that's where your heart is.
Yeah, that's where hearts live. So now everyone's coming out. Everyone's like in the backyard now, and damn, this is a great looking cast, and they look amazing in their formal wear. And Nick and Alex are on the balcony, and Alex is like, ladies and gentlemen and people who aren't crazy like Shanice, welcome to our big night. And Nick is like, it's Lux on the Bluffs, which almost rhymes. It's Martha's Vineyard Serenade.
The style and impeccable dress is very important to me. Because my mother, this is Nick. He says,
yes, Nick.
He says, the style and impeccable dress is very important to me because my mother taught me this quote. If you walk out of the house looking any kind of way, people are going to treat you any kind of a way. So I'm here to make connections that will last a lifetime. I was like, is your speech really about how many pairs of pants you have? Because that's what that's what that meant. That meant you brought the most pairs of pants, sir. Okay?
Basically like, if you walk out dressed like shit, the people who are dressed well are going to make fun of you. So dress like the people who look good. So
I was like, why is he giving the speech? Let Alex give the speech. At least Alex won't make any sense, but he'll try and make it sound poetic. Like, that's your quote.
So then the event begins. They give a toast to Martha, and then a guy named Josiah Bassey starts singing. I don't know if he's related to what's her face Bassey. But he starts singing a song
What's
about
her
pressure.
face, Bassey?
I'm
Are you
sorry,
trying to start a fucking fight? What is going on here today?
You know who I meant? Shirley?
Yeah. Okay.
Shirley Bassey.
You saved
Okay,
it.
Redemption.
You saved it, and also you know all those lyrics, so we're
Yeah,
good.
so
We're
he's...
good.
I'm going to just coast off of the capital I got from the McDonald's song. But he starts singing a song about pressure, but it sounds like he's saying Prussia. He's like, Prussia, 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 give me that Prussia, Prussia. I'm like, I love his commitment to historical countries. So then a car pulls up and someone's arriving and someone's walking through the house.
I'm too stupid for that joke. I was like, what? Then I got it when you
Prussia.
explained
It used to be a place.
You're petty.
There's also a mall, the King of Prussia Mall.
Oh.
So the song could have been just like an ode to that mall.
So
Great deals at the King of Prussia. Prussia, Prussia, give me more of that Prussia, Prussia Mall.
But I love that he's singing a song about pressure, and then we get a tss, and a car is pulling up, and we get a close up at the back of Nick's head, and someone's coming through the house. It's a girl, and I cannot believe this is an actual person. I have to say, I admit, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I did not think that this person was real. Good for her, but also yikes when you see what Nick's been doing. Like you've been
honestly.
in Africa, but
Right?
I cannot believe she was real. I thought she was
real.
totally going to be fake.
I thought so too. Or maybe she's an AI generated deep fake that they just inserted into the show.
Yeah, I mean, I thought even if she shows up, she's going to be one of those rolling carts, like those robotic rolling carts with a smiling face on it that serves you boba tea at the ramen place.
Or like, on Big Brother, some seasons they put someone in like a room in isolation. They put like a camera on wheels in the house that just like rolls around. I thought that's what she would be. But
yeah,
she's
remember
real.
when Real Housewives of Dallas they did that when Deandra was like, "I can't come to your party, so here I am, mother." And it was just like her rolling around, following everybody around.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. That's what we all thought Tasia would be. But Tasia's real, and she walks through the house, and she comes up behind Nick, and then Alex on the mic goes, "There's a wonderful surprise just behind Nick." I was like, "Well, way to tip the surprise, Alex. Let Tasia tap him on the back for crying out loud."
So Nick is so excited, and then Jordan is like, all that's running through my head right now is Aaliyah, girl, if you only knew your man came in single.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, cool. So that's Tasia. Got it. Great. So now there's more.
Everyone's like, awkward, because they're like, she just walked into the most cringy situation ever, It's like, obviously she doesn't know what's been going on.
I'll tell you what's awkward. All these musicians who schlepped up to Martha's Vineyard had to probably take a ferry to get there and were probably promised you get to sing on Bravo television, and they all just get shoved into a montage without even their names being put on screen or their voices being heard. They just play some sort of like generic music and just show people singing. And I was like, oh, you poor saps.
Yeah. Alex is trying to do that for the collective. Like, guys, I'm putting us all on TV. We're all going to make it. And that's what I did for this group. And they get nothing.
And now it's time for Alex's song. He goes, "This song I wrote with my brother is to address what is a beautiful union between this collective here." I'm like, well, okay. So he starts singing, and he has a pretty nice voice. I felt like it was in a different key than the music. Did it seem to me like that he was in a different key? Like he was, right?
I mean, I don't think he was off key. I think he was just like good. I think he was good.
He's good.
I don't think he was like
He's good.
I think he was good, especially for Bravo. When someone whips it out on Bravo, you got to give them credit if they don't sound like "Happy Birthday."
Yeah, it was good. He wasn't like, okay, he gets a high pitch good, not he was good. Like low pitch is when you're really good. He was good, but he gets a, he was good.
He was good. Yeah, he wasn't great, but he doesn't have a career ahead of him. But he doesn't have to be completely humiliated. But I wouldn't whip that out when John Legend's over at Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that kind of good. So people dance and stuff, and Summer's crying listening to his song. She's like, she goes, "Are you crying too, Jordan?" And Jordan's like, "Hell no, I'm not crying. What the fuck is this song? What's this even mean?"
I'm not going to cry at this sexualizing creep. So afterwards, Jason's like, "You did a great job. You had Summer crying." And then Amir goes up to Summer. Amir's like, "So, Summer, the assumptions I made about you when I first saw you were not good." I'm like, "Why are you telling her this?" She's like, "Oh, tell me more." He goes, "I thought you were a princess. I thought you were intrusive. I thought you were a straight up bitch. I thought that you would maybe burn down a house sometime in your life. I felt like you would poison a person. Things like that."
I know. He was really weird. And then Silas is cracking up because he loves this, and he's like leaning on Hamir, like, "That's the best thing you've ever said." And Summer's like, "But now," and he goes, "Now I see you as curious." I was like, wow. I know you think you're sounding poetic. Be quiet. Just be quiet, please.
Stop. Silas goes, "That's a curious way. That's a curious way of, curious is a nice way of saying it. You're nosy." Thanks.
So Preston goes to Bria, and he's like, "So listen, Bria, I'm so proud of you. You've grown so much. I mean, from beginning to end. And I think it's because all of us have grown in ways that we didn't think are possible." What? What are you talking about?
5 days.
And no, she hasn't.
She literally has actually devolved. She's actually gotten worse.
Didn't she just spend yesterday or the day before all day in bed because she didn't want to fight with anybody? Maybe
she learned not to dump an entire jar of seasoning on the broccoli. Maybe that's where the growth came from, but I'm pretty sure she's actually spiraled out of control over the course of the past 15 days.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for...
I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible Foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling.
For a Crappens commercial.
So Amir is asking Tasia, he's like, so how did you get to know Nick? May I presume it was at a pants store? Because he really loves pants.
Pants. He loves this one store called Pants and Pants and Pants. Have you been there?
Slacks. Slacks are us. He just loves some slacks. And she's like, well, you know, first we were friends, but then I thought, wow, I feel grateful to have someone with such a pure heart loving me. I was like,
Where is that
"Oh."
heart again? Could you just show me where the heart is? It's right here.
Right
here on my
inside
chest.
Here.
Right
inside here. My heart has a voice now. Hold on. Let me see what it's saying. I want more. I want a Big Mac. My heart wants a Big Mac. My heart has a voice now. Thank God.
So they all toast to a great night of listening to live music. And Silas goes up to Jasmine and he's like, I'm going to be nice to you again. It's like, oh, thanks for the honor, Silas. Real pleasure.
I didn't understand why Preston said to black fucking excellence, because didn't Preston say that he doesn't like that term?
I assumed he was being tongue-in-cheek because he did say he doesn't like the term.
Yeah, so maybe he's being like, okay, let's end it off now. This is what you can say. This is when you can say black fucking excellence. I was like, wow, if anyone's changed, they sure changed Preston's mind.
Yeah, no, I got the sense he was being coy. So now there's like people are hanging around. They're inside. They're talking about how they loved Alex's song, and somewhere amidst this, Simon definitely snorted some lines because all of a sudden he goes, "Hey guys, I'm ready to party.
Time for party.
Time to party!"
And then he jumps in the pool in his tux, and everyone's like, whoa, because no one else is on the same drawing, except I think Bria, because Bria, Bria's reaction later is a little suspicious as well. But I think those two were hiding. I think those watches all have little compartments in them.
They have little mirrors that come out. So, Simon is like all of a sudden 10 times more extra than everyone else there and being crazy. And everyone's like, okay. And Jason's like, Bria, get your man. He's in the pool with a whole nice ass suit. And so they're like, okay, weird. So then Tasia goes inside to go to the bathroom. And when she's going into the bathroom, Bria tracks her down and sits down with her on the sofa. And we just know this is trouble because Bria is just not smooth about this stuff. So Bria's like, so Nick said you were on a girls' retreat in South Africa. And Tasia's like, yeah, it's like 26 girls of us. And she goes, yeah, wow, well, I wish I was there because this shit has been like rehab for me. And she's like holding a glass of wine. And Tasia's like, rehab?
You have a drink. Like you're literally holding a drink. And she goes, well, rehab as in freedom from feeling. What? What does that mean? Is that what she said?
Or I thought it was rehab for feelings. Or I don't know what it was.
Feelings?
Because Tasia actually tries to take the glass out of her hand, and Bria's like, "No, I was being metaphorical, okay? Because I've been healing, yeah, and I learned for me to handle situations differently and not to be aggressive in certain situations. Like not scream at people unreasonably, not cry uncontrollably, not to drag my entire household into a stupid drama about a dog."
Yeah. And I like also that she said, because Tasia says, did you learn anything? And she goes, yeah, I've learned a lot from myself. Oh, okay.
That's great.
It's usually how people learn. So she goes, well, it seems like everyone loves Simon, so that's good. And she goes, I mean, but how do you feel knowing that Nick was coming into the house and there's friends here and there's girls here? And she goes, well, he wanted to. And I said it was okay. And Nick's like, oh, hey, I got your lipstick that you asked for. And Bria's like, so he's just standing there now listening to this. And Bria's like, well, I mean, we didn't even know you guys were together until the second week. So, I mean, obviously we had some questions because,
So I think Jason sees what's going on and he's like, I'm going to let this scene play out. So he like pulls Nick away, brings him to the backyard. So Bria continues. She's like, so you guys have been together for 1 year? And she's like, yes, we have. And Bria's like, oh, because, well, we were confused because in the beginning, we didn't know you guys were together up until like the second week. In the beginning, he was like in a lot of my friends' DMs. Like there was Shanice, for instance, and, I was like, hey, Nick's girlfriend is coming. And she was like, wait, he has a girlfriend, but he's been in my DMs and he's been sending me hearts and saying like I was his wife, blah, 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 blah. So isn't that funny, Tasia? Isn't that funny that what I just told you?
oh my God. And then we see pictures of it and it's like special, ... You are special. Looking forward to meeting you Thursday. Have you always been so fine? I was like, oh God, these are not just like, hey, I'm in your DMs liking your things. It's like,
right.
You're so fine.
But this is also so obnoxious of Bria, because if Bria were truly concerned for Tasia, she would have sat down Tasia and be like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I want to make sure you understand this. Not like this, like, oh my God. And then Nick did this. And isn't that fun? Isn't that crazy that Nick did this, that Nick was DMing all of us?
Yeah, she's being shitty, but she's also, she's also telling the woman, like, your man is fucking around on you and you're being made an ass out of right now on national television by showing up here and acting like you're all about him when he's been making you look stupid behind your back. So
I think that's the intention behind it, but I think the way that she's actually doing it is actually a little bit more, I feel like I felt bad for Tasia in that moment because it felt like Bria was trying more to humiliate Tasia. That's how it came off, even though I do believe her intention was to alert Tasia about what was going on.
Well, I think she's trying to humiliate Nick for sure. But knowing she knows she's humiliating her. I mean, that's not cool. But it is a season finale, and she is Bria. And that girl has been screwed this whole season by Nick behind her back, So I don't know. It's like Bria's wrong a lot, but she's also right a lot. So I'm not really sure where I stand.
Yeah,
I feel like there's like a germ of correct, and then it just blows into a crazy tumbleweed of whatever that runs you over.
Germy
eventually.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
So, Bria's like, if my man is in your friend's DMs, like, let me know, please, because the relationship will be over. Okay, I will be on the next flight to Abu Dhabi to find someone else who's very wealthy.
What a weird way to put it.
Going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, going straight to Abu Dhabi to find another rich guy. But yeah, I mean, this guy was really bad, and I've grown to like everybody on the show, but for that guy to be in everybody's DMs and then when he couldn't get anybody, pretend that he has a girlfriend, or admit that he has a girlfriend all of a sudden and he wasn't after them in the first place, like to save face when he was probably going to dump his girlfriend if he hooked her. You know what I mean? It's like keeping her on the side so he didn't look stupid. I mean, that guy's a real jerk, so I don't feel bad for him.
Well, Tasia is like, Nick has been very forthcoming about conversations with other girls in the house, and he's never given me a reason to think he would step out. And I feel not an ounce of doubt in my relationship with Nick, which is my way of saying, I'm not going to make a scene. I did not apply to be on reality TV. I will yell at him later off camera. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And so Bria's like, oh, okay, well, that's good. I'm glad then. And Tasia's like, yeah, we're good. So thanks. So then Silas has dried off and come in a new outfit. And not Silas, Simon. So then Silas and Jasmine are talking. So he's trying to be nice now because he's got a couple drinks in him and he knows that he went too far. So he's like, hey, she's eating. And he's like, hey, you need a napkin. Do you want to use my hanky? She's like, no, I don't want to mess up your hanky. Not to be nice, but she's going to have to tie stick that shit later.
I was going to say.
And she doesn't need your notes. So you can keep that on yourself. Thank you very much.
So she goes, I was talking to Jordan about how I feel like our gender breakdown in our marriage that works for us, blah, blah, blah. And Silas says, oh, are you talking about the Tide pen? And she goes, yeah, the Tide pen and the steaming your clothes today. And I was just like, this is just so foolish. And he goes, yeah, and she's like, what is happening? And he's like, well, I just want an acknowledgement, like, baby, the pan is messed up. The pants are messed up. I just want that to be acknowledged.
And she goes, but it feels like Jasmine is always messing up. And he goes, wow. He just looks at her like, now you get it. That's all I've been trying to say.
Acknowledgement. That's all I wanted, the acknowledgement.
And he's like, listen, you know what? I just want you to meet me somewhat in the middle. Okay. Can you just give me a little more? That's all I'm asking for. And she's like, but I'm already hard on myself. And then you just add to it. And she tells us this trip has highlighted that we're just getting to know each other and we need therapy the second we get back because this is going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, I would say so. So Jasmine's like, we're just like too early for me to be this exhausted. And he goes, well, we have our routines, but when we're both treating our routines like it's a necessity and not an option, I think a lot of our issues will be solved. So what I'm trying to say is let's remove, free thought from our relationship and just robotically go through the motions of the things we said we would do during the day. And it'll be fine. Everything will be great.
Yeah. It's like serving me is not a hobby. It's a job, ma'am. Okay. And you're going to do it every fucking day. And that's it.
It's like the mafia. It's like the mafia going up to a small business and being like, oh, we would hate for your business to be ransacked. So give us some money. See, if you give us money, everything's okay. If you do everything for me, it'll be amazing how much better this marriage will be. I will not be complaining and being a big baby and hectoring you and making you feel like a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, that's what control is. If you do exactly what I want, you won't get in trouble. So then everybody sees them talking and Bria's yelling, Jasmine, you need your back taken. I got your back. And so they all come over and they're trying to cheer them up and dance around and sing and stuff. And Jasmine's like, oh God, we're trying to sort things out as a couple. And Preston's like, please, we're leaving tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, but at the same time, all of us are at home watching this. I don't care where you're going tomorrow. I need to see her fucking break up with Simon or Silas.
I know.
Could you please let this go so she can just dump this idiot?
I was so mad that they interrupted, actually. So now, meanwhile, Summer goes up to Alex and she's like, Alex, you did like such a good job tonight. And like your friends are so talented. The way they sang about Prussia. I mean, what a country that was. Can you imagine a whole big war? A Franco-Prussian war happened. Wow. Amazing to think about.
She's like, I really felt things. That was amazing. You make me feel too. And he's like, well, you were a great addition to the house. So you know what? When you get to New York, you can hit me up. I was like, oh, wow. She passed the test. Yeah. She used all the code words that you like. They made me feel, the
goes,
talent,
I'm here to,
the love.
Hey, I'm just here to make people feel and also make them feel embarrassed about their past by Googling them and then ostracizing them in the house. Yeah.
I like people to feel an energy, and that was rhythmic. And so I like that. I was like, okay. So then Jordan and Amir are talking, and he's like, so how are you going to feel when you get home? And she's like, I'm going to feel like this. I'm home. That's how journalists always feel when we get back from someplace.
A very literal expression of emotion. And Jordan's like, out of everyone, my friendship with Amir has blossomed the most during my time in Martha's Vineyard. Basically, once he stopped making me go on kayak trips and hiking and doing stupid things outside, I was very happy when he just let me enjoy a potato. And so now he's like one of my best friends.
Yeah, and she's basically like, he's my friend. And he's like, well, okay, to the friend zone I go. And there's been talk online that she's kind of dating or seeing or has seen or something. Is there something going on with Tom Schwartz? Have you heard this?
I have not heard that, but...
Are you smoking?
No, that was my Dunkin' Donuts. Did it look like a vape?
Oh, yeah. Because you're on a weird green screen right now, and it looked like you went...
Oh, yeah, my green screen is making everything look weird. So I guess my vape... I mean, not mine. Oh, I see why. Because the straw is making weird artifacts show up on my virtual green screen.
I was like, wow, how weird. Ben's vaping now.
Yeah, now that the tour is over, I can let loose. I'm going to vape.
So anyway, Tom Schwartz, please don't. Please have some self-respect. Because I feel like, we make fun of everybody on this show, but I feel like you've got so much self-respect.
I thought you were
I
telling
don't
Tom
need-
Schwartz to have self-respect. I was like,
no,
excuse me.
I'm
There's like
telling
Jordan.
her to have self-respect.
Yes,
no,
please,
like I'm saying, I
please.
make fun of her on the show because she's on this show, but like she is definitely. I mean, I like her. I don't want her to do this to herself.
Jordan is
Please
like,
don't do it.
yeah, please don't date Tom Schwartz, please, Jordan, please. Like, literally, don't date anyone from Bravo unless they were on like Top Chef, I guess, maybe as a judge.
Yeah,
I don't know,
especially him.
like, especially Tom Schwartz. Don't like.
So,
go to PBS.
Bria and Simon are talking. Okay, so Bria goes into her room. Milo is still on his leash.
She's walking around with this dog. Her
Yeah,
emotional
dragging him
support
everywhere.
dog.
Yes.
Her emotional support dog.
Who, by the way, does a terrible job because emotionally she's still off the fucking charts. And,
no.
I mean, when are we going to admit that emotional support animals don't really work? Okay, I think now's some pretty good evidence. Okay,
Yeah, at least not in this context. Like in the hospital, absolutely.
people
in
who
a
really need them,
summer share home,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
In a
This is
summer share
obviously-
home on Martha's Vineyard on a reality show, absolutely not.
Right.
So she walks up to Simon and she goes, "Why'd you leave me with Milo?" I'm like, "It's your emotional support animal, allegedly. So shouldn't the emotion? Why you have to? The animal has to be with you to support you. Okay, that's how it works. That's how your lie works. If you want people to take your lie seriously, you have to be with your dog all the time."
So then what is this thing? She said, "Why are you leaving me alone with Milo?" And then he says, "Bria, this is not an option." And she is like, "Well, hold up. Come outside right now. You're bugging." And he's like, "I'm on vacation." And she's like, "I don't know if you're drunk, but you are not going to be talking to me like this." And he goes, "But you disrespect me." And then she starts screaming, "I disrespect you. You're bugging out. You're bugging out. Get it together." I was like, oh my God, you guys got the worst Coke. Okay, you got rage Coke. You should not be this ragey this early in the night. That's some bad Coke. Okay?
They are screaming about Milo because I think it was that he didn't want to take care of Milo. He was like, "Not now. I want to jump in pool again." So they are
Leave the dog in the bedroom, guys. It's okay. Leave the dog in the bedroom.
This fucking dog ruining everything all the time. So Summer's like, guys, what's wrong? And Bria's like, "Well, I said, will you watch Milo real quickly while I get up?" And Simon goes, "But you come to me saying I have to watch Milo and I will do it, but you didn't say anything." Okay. And she goes, "Well, I asked, will you watch the dog for 2 seconds?" I go, "No, you didn't ask me about the dog. You just tell me. You say why you're not watching the dog. That is the difference. Okay, you have to ask me about the dog."
Which he's right, but also now he's yelling. I'm like, what are you
It's
two
like,
idiots?
he's right, but also like, can you guys hear what you guys are fighting about right now?
Yeah, you're both dummies. And so he's like, "Why are you not watching the dog? That's what you say. That's the difference." And she goes, "Okay, then you can just stay outside. Don't come back in the house." He goes, "I will stay outside. I do everything for you." And she goes, "Shut the fuck up." So she goes inside and she just passes someone and goes, "Simon needs to go. I don't want him in this house anymore. He's disgusting and disrespectful." I was like, oh my God, you fought for him to be here longer than 3 days. And now, of course, you're trying to get him kicked out. Just like, it's like, what is this, the third person you're trying to get kicked out?
Oh my God.
Well, Mariah was the first. And then the second, who did they not kick out? They ended up not kicking
Well, there was the other
somebody
guy.
out.
What was his name? The guy that they kicked out? Joe?
But that wasn't her. That wasn't
That
her
wasn't
fault.
her, no.
Right.
She really backs the wrong horses sometimes. So he's like, "I don't want to watch your fucking dog. He's got to go." Like, she's just like losing her mind. She's screaming. And Summer is meanwhile talking to Simon. She goes, "You feel disrespected?" And she feels disrespected. He goes, "Yes." She goes, "And this is like, it's the way that she told you how to wash the dog." He's like, "Yes." So now Bria's going to Jordan and she's like, he's saying I'm treating him like the butler. And I'm saying this is whack.
Now, that's another thing that he did not say, but she is taking it that way because that is how she treats him. You know, you can't have two things. You can't say, "I want a rich guy who's going to pay for everything and do everything for me, and then I also get to boss him around." You know, it's like these weird. There's such weird relationship dynamics and discussions on this show because it's Jasmine. You've got Jasmine over there talking about. She even calls it gender roles, which you know. Don't like that. But it's like the woman stays home and does this and the man does this. And Bria thinks that she can just get some guy and not have. We find out in this episode. I guess I should just wait to get to the moment. But we find out in this episode that this guy basically supports her and she demands that he watches the dog. You can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
By the way, quote unquote, we find out this episode, like, it was evident when he showed up in the Corvette. Like, it's clear that he supports her. I mean,
look, it seems obvious, but
yeah,
I always want to give
plates
someone
of
the
food.
Benny of the doubt there. But, you know.
And he's been bringing her plates of food he's been doing so much stuff. And so Simon's like, I'm concentrating to have her back, to make everything for her. And she's disrespecting me like that. And I will not take that from her. So Summer is like, well, you guys both love each other and you should be able to have arguments through love. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh,
someone
please shut
listened
up.
to too many songs from Alex.
Yeah. So then, So then Jordan and Jordan's like, okay, so now what should we do? And she goes, and now he's down there talking to Summer because they have a little bond. And she goes, well, yeah, but isn't her loyalty supposed to be with you? Which, Jordan, stop riling
feeding
her
this
up.
fire.
Yeah.
But also thank you because it's a reality show. So thank you, but stop in real life. And thank you in our life. So Bria's like, she's like, well, clearly her loyalty is with Simon. And Bria's like, Summer knows not to come between dick and pussy. And that's not her thing. She's not a therapist. And let me handle this with Simon. I'm like, wow, because you're doing such a great job so far, Bria.
Yeah, your handling is ruining everyone's night again, as usual. So then people are taking pictures and shot. Everybody else is just trying to have fun, right?
Yeah.
And Bria pulls Simon to talk, but no, Bria pulls Simon. Yeah, she pulls Simon to talk, right?
We need to talk. We're going to talk because you're being wild.
But then she gets a call from her mom, and she's like, "Mom, he crossed boundaries with me. He jumped in the pool with his clothes on. Mom, it's not funny. Why are you laughing? Mom, I'm embarrassed right now."
She's like, "Has he been drinking?" She goes, "No, he's been in the pool." Mom, stop! Why are you laughing at me, Mom? Because basically, Bria. By the way, Bria is like a spoiled brat. Okay, she's a spoiled brat, so she's calling Mom to tattle, and Mom is like just laughing
because she's gotten this call a million times with every boyfriend, you know. She's like, oh my God. So then it cuts to Simon, who literally is out of control. I mean, I would be annoyed if he was my boyfriend too.
I would be
he's
annoyed
standing
that,
on the
not
kitchen
the
counter, you know, dancing, like doing a pelvis dance, like humping the air and like doing Saturday Night Fever moves and just making an ass out of himself. And so Bria's like, he's putting on a persona that's not even him. And I'm like, there are boundaries. And the mom goes, he's been supporting you, right? And she goes, well, but he's not respecting me. And she's like, do not embarrass him, Bria. Please don't make me send you any more money. I've got to retire soon. Okay. You found someone to pay your damn bills. Let him dance on a table. Okay.
She's
Let
like,
him dance on a
don't
table.
embarrass
Take your own
him.
dog outside.
I don't embarrass him, okay? All I do is say that he is a piece of shit for not handling Milo, okay? And there's boundaries that should not be crossed. And somebody goes, yo, disrespected me. Because he's like right there. Because there's like a lot of chaos happening. And Bria's like, shut up. I'm talking to my mom. Shut the fuck up and let me talk to my mom.
So then Summer comes up and she goes, don't you come in here. I don't want anyone coming into my room. And Summer's like, are you done for the night? Like, what's going on with you? She goes, I don't want anyone in my room. You're fake as fuck. Get the fuck away from my door. She goes, don't talk to me like that. And she goes, get out of my room. Get out of my room. And Summer's like, I stuck up for you.
Like
you know how many times I stuck up for you? And she starts getting her finger
You were
in
with
her
my
face.
man downstairs.
Yeah, she's like, you were just with my man. And then Summer
Summer's
just
like,
goes in and pushes her, like straight up pushes her down.
And she just like pushes her, and then there's like screaming, and then there's producers pulling them apart, and there's intervention, and Milo is barking. Milo finally does something on this show. He starts to bark, like, way to go, Milo. You're really coming to our protection there, although he's not a watchdog or protector. So then Summer's like, fuck. And there are people, like 3 people are holding Bria back. Like, Bria's flailing, she's screaming, she's angry. And Jordan's like telling her, like, stop, stop. Like, you're so much better than this shit. Stop. And Simon just goes downstairs. He's already been downstairs, and he's like making himself a little bed in the basement.
Yeah. And so Marlo's just like, meh, meh, meh. And I think he's kind of mad because there's so much movement that all he sees is a shiny snake on Bria's dress, because she's wearing this dress with like a stuffed snake on it, which is weird. We didn't even mention that. It's not just like an image of a snake. It's like a stuffed, glittered snake, like coming down her dress. And I think Milo just sees a toy, because I don't think We've seen Bria having a fit before, and Milo doesn't even care. He's just like relaxing or like playing. So I think he's just trying to get the toy off of her chest. And then Nick is telling Tasia, he's like, oh God, that's Bria. This place is so fucking toxic sometimes.
So then Bria, of course, now Bria's crying and she's like, I'm tired of people putting their hands on me. Like, okay. All right. Well, the obligatory, obviously, violence is not the answer. And obviously, Summer should not have pushed Bria. But of course, Bria, who is like being so ridiculous and being so over the top, and everyone's just trying to have fun, and she's like screaming, she's like crying, she's being really mean to her friend, and then all of a sudden, like, they're putting his hands on. Shit. Everyone just wants to put their hands on me. I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is to me, this is an over dramatization of, you know, what people go through, shit that's much worse than having a friend push you because they're tired of you being crazy to them. Not
yeah, and then they show the Mariah clip too. And Mariah, I mean, she put the laundry on her chest, but she wasn't like, boom, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Bria's just, come on, Bria.
I just feel like Bria's definitely using, she's basically speaking in a way that I think devalues, you know, much worse stuff. But I mean, I don't know. It's
yeah, but you also
subject,
can't
obviously.
push somebody.
You can't push someone. It's a thorny subject, and it's not.
Summer was in the wrong on that
level.
one. Just back the fuck away. She's telling you to get out of her room, and she's in her own room. She's not even like in a public space. And Summer's like barging herself in there, getting in it. Just get out of the room. Just walk away from the crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So then Alex is talking to Summer because she's upset. So they're sitting on the bed, and he's like, are you all right? I mean, she's done that to pretty much everybody at the house, you know? And the first few times it happened, it hurt right here. That's where my heart is. That's where my heart is. It's right here.
Yeah, it's the heart. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm upset that she got under my skin because I know my intent and it was to create peace. For her to come into my face, I mean, you should not be so close to someone's face that I can smell your dinner. She was wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong for pushing her. And now you just made it that Bria is less wrong than you because you did that. You shouldn't have done that.
No, you should never push. Never push. So Silas is telling Jasmine, take care of your friend. She's literally been invited by us. A text won't do. And Jasmine goes, I actually don't care.
Yeah, shut up, Silas. You go take care of it then, big man. Big man on campus. Fucking Silas.
So Bria's like, she's talking to Preston and Jordan and Amir, and she's like, being upstairs, someone's trying to fight me. Someone wants my man, pulls my man aside. My man's downstairs. He's not my man anymore. I don't feel anything from. I'm like, okay, you know what, Bria? I've had enough. I've had enough. Go to sleep at this point, please.
So then we see Jasmine and Silas in bed. So Silas is like, so do you want me to be honest right now? And she's like, I don't really want to hear anything from you right now. How about that? And then there's a drama chord. And he's like, first of all, you're not talking to your husband like that. She's like, oh my God, the way you've been talking to me on this trip, just stop. Just stop. And he's like, you're not talking to your husband like that. You calm down, because when we're good, I'm going to bring this shit up that you disrespect. Yes, we know. Okay. You're on the line with customer service until you get the agent's response that you need. We know, Silas.
Yeah, so she's like, okay, well, you want to bring it up right now? Let's bring it up right now. So Silas goes, you straight up disrespected me. And she goes, I have time. Come on, tell me everything. And he goes, you literally just said, I don't want to hear shit from you right now. That is flat out disrespectful. I'm like, didn't you just say to her, I don't know if you want to hear this right now or not? And she said, I don't want to hear it. And they're like, how could you even say that?
So then Silas is like, I mean, that coverage that comes with marriage, I promise you, your life will change. I promise your life will change tomorrow. I'm like, what are you selling, marriage insurance? What the fuck are you talking?
Like,
are you like the marriage Jake from State Farm? Shut the fuck up about coverage.
Yeah, what is he talking about?
He's ridiculous. He's like, you follow the rules. You follow the rules. And that is the most freedom you're ever going to have. Get that shit the fuck out of here.
And then the most insulting thing of all is that, of course, Nick and Alex didn't even provide any food for their big blowout because Preston, Amir, and Jordan are just like sitting in the room at night and they're just like, we're really hungry. And none of them have had dinner yet because there was no food.
There was food.
There was? Well, they didn't eat it then.
Yeah, there was food. So I saw it because I was like, I want food. So I just remember thinking that, like, I want food. Why do they always get to have good food?
Well, those three did not have dinner. So someone feed them.
Well, Preston's always in bed eating. That's why I love Preston. You can find Preston at any time of day in bed eating something. You know, I love that
Mac and
about
cheese.
him.
There's been a strong theme of mac and cheese every episode, which makes me so hungry every single time.
So then Jasmine's like, so you disrespected me on this trip. Do you even know how? I mean, my friends are sitting right there talking about how you can't fold your own laundry. You can't do shit, you know, and I didn't make a tantrum about being disrespected. I said, guess what? I'm an adult and I know when to disengage from a conversation when it's pointless. So I'm going to wash my hands of this conversation because you're doing a lot tonight. So good night. And he's just on the floor packing a suitcase like, I'm so mad. Oh, wow. Look at you. So mad that you're actually doing something for yourself.
I know.
Isn't that
Congratulations.
something? Wow. Well, I guess
Shocking.
we figured out how to make you work.
Seriously. So now it's the morning and everyone's waking up, and Simon sort of like mopes his way back upstairs to get back into bed with Bria. And then Amir just like hugs a few people and he's like, yeah, this is a great summer. And then he's just like gone. He's like done for the season. He's like,
That
okay,
was
there
a
goes
weird
Amir.
Amir goodbye, wasn't it?
Yeah, I felt like Amir was like a pretty big character on the season. And then
Yeah,
he
they just
sort of,
canceled Amir.
like, okay, bye Amir.
Yeah. I think
And
they
then-
just were like, bye. It's like the end of it's like the end of your moment on Bachelor when you don't win. And he was being a good sport about it and just getting in the limo and leaving instead of making a big drama. But
Right.
it's like he didn't win the girl, so just kick him out. No one has any use for him anymore. So then we go to Bria and Simon. And Bria, now we know this is like Coke shame because the next day Bria's like, what the hell? I'm not kicking out the watch person and the person who buys me all of this stuff and pays all of my bills. And so she's like, okay, she's trying to be tough where she's like making it tough. But she goes, okay, last night was rough. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses inside. Okay. But you know, I fought for you to come here. I ride for you hardcore because I got you a free 3 days at this house that we were
Yeah.
at.
And he's
And
like,
he's-
but you pushed me to the limit and you disrespected me. And she goes, that's fair. We both disrespected each other. Actually, I just want to say that. And now,
See?
how do you want to move forward?
Yeah, that's how you know that she knows she's wrong. When she's like, okay, we disrespected each other. I was like, oh, she gave an inch. Like, she knows she was just flat out wrong in that situation.
So he's like, I want to let it go. And so they both agree to let it go. And Bria's like, I was ready to throw my relationship away, but I slept on it. And Simon is willing to do anything for you and like give this sweater off your back, which, by the way, I don't know what that means. He's like, hey, oh, nice sweater. I'm going to take it off your back and give it to you. It's like,
I think she means like he'll take the sweater from around his shoulders and give it to you. You know, like guys
Right.
on the island or on the
and you know what? That's what I should be focusing on, that he will pay for things for me. So
yeah.
I'm taking
In
it
other
back.
words, it's easier than getting a job. Right. So they kiss. So then Summer knocks for Bria to talk, and you know, they're friends, I guess. So they decide that they're just gonna get over it. And Summer's like, okay, I was in your business. You're right. I should not have been in your business. And I love you. And Bria's like, I
pushed
love you
you.
and I care about you even when I'm mad. And so they're fine.
yeah, they're fine. So then Jasmine is telling Jason that she's like really happy to leave Martha's Vineyard because she just can't deal with like another fight in this household. And Jason's like, how are things with Silas? And she says that like Silas packed all his stuff last night, but just because he needed something to do. And she just doesn't really feel connected with the man that she fell in love with, but she really hopes that they tune into each other more and they, you know, that way they can let everyone else solve their problems without they just want to just focus on themselves.
So then everybody has to sign the book because it's like the goodbye book. And you say, Dear Martha, and then you say what you're grateful for. And Jordan's like, Dear Martha, thanks for the laughs and the big old crocodile tears, Martha. And I'm sorry, but we're just going to be friends. Okay, so
Then Alex is like,
I've been in Playboy. We can talk about something else now. Okay, Martha, thanks.
hey Martha, thanks for surrounding me with a bunch of asshole pigs. And Alex is like, it was a really big mirror this summer, really big mirror being put in front of you, having these big personalities in one big house, but I wouldn't change anything for the world. Because guess what I have? I have a heart. I
That's where that's where my heart lives. That's where my heart lives.
It's
Also,
right to the
how
right of my
does
shoulder?
I don't understand what he's saying. This place was like a big mirror that's on you, having personalities in the house. I don't really know what that means. I guess because they're telling him how he is, but
He just strings along phrases because if these personalities were telling him how he is, he would have a shred of introspection. But we have not seen that.
yeah. So then Silas is telling us, it's here that I asked Jasmine to be my girlfriend, and it's here that she came back as my wife with a broken Tide pen finger. So we're going to have to work on that one. And Jasmine just says she's exhausted, and they're going to have to go home and look each other in the eye and start all over again. Unless you're ready to go back home and start all over again, doing his to-do list exactly how he wants it every day, you're in the wrong relationship, man. Because
Start all over again on those divorce papers.
Yeah, get rid of him. Chalk this up to a mistake, and I hope you see yourself on TV and realize that you made a big one. You made a big one. Run.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any reunion for this show, but man, I actually really would have liked one. I really would have liked one just to have Silas confronted with his own buffoonery. But either way, what a great first season. Loved this show. So good. Sorry it's over.
Yeah, fun season, guys. Thank you, Bravo,
involved.
for this one. Really enjoyed this show. It was a fun one. And that leaves an opening which will be filled by the Real Housewives of New York City. So that's coming up next. But we will be back next week. We're off, but we're not going to be here, but we're still going to have plenty of stuff. We have a live show coming out. We have a bunch of stuff coming up, so still tune in to watch what crappens. But we'll be back with the new season of Real Housewives of New York in place of this in a couple of weeks. So we'll talk to you guys then. Thank you so much for being with us all season. Just remember, okay, we love you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie, she's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Celebrity beef, you never know if you're just going to end up on TMZ or trending on Twitter or in court. I'm Matt Belisai.
And I'm Sydney Battle, and we're the hosts of Wondery's new podcast, Dis and Tell. Each episode explores a different iconic celebrity feud. From the build-up, why it happened, and the repercussions. What does our obsession with these feuds say about us?
We're starting off with a pretty messy love triangle between Selena Gomez and Justin and Hailey Bieber. A seemingly innocent TikTok of Selena talking about her laminated eyebrows. It snowballed into a full-blown alleged feud.
But it doesn't seem like fans are letting up anytime soon, despite both Selena and the Biebers making public statements denying any bad blood. How much of this is teen jealousy and lovers quarreling, and how much of it is a carefully crafted narrative designed to sell albums?
Follow Dis and Tell wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Raising kids can be one of the greatest rewards of a parent's life. But come on, some days parenting is unbearable.
I Love My Kid, But is a new parenting podcast from Wondery that shares a refreshingly honest and insightful take on parenting. Hosted by myself, Megan Gailey, Chris Garcia, and Kurt Braunohler, we will be your resident not-so-expert experts. Each week, we'll share a parenting story that'll have you laughing, nodding, and thinking, oh yeah, I have absolutely been there.
We'll talk about what went right and wrong. What would we do differently? And the next time you step on yet another stray Lego in the middle of the night, you'll feel less alone.
So if you like to laugh with us as we talk about the hardest job in the world, listen to I Love My Kid, But wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or